Whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out. Now.
Oh my God.
Земля, экипаж МКС.
Here's after you read.
War has broken out below. And we were told to take the ISS. Oh, whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out. Now.
Oh my God.
Земля, экипаж МКС.
Here's after you read.
War has broken out below. And we were told to take the ISS.
Shalom. Let's start by giving all praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. Noble honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth. Honors to the brethren that's laboring doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which will be 1/3 of you Israelites, according to Scripture, who will be the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who will be seeking their salvation by returning back to the Most High, by hearing and believing on his word, so that the Lord will have mercy on us in judgment. We back with another lesson to the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. I think I'm going to title this lesson, The Lake of Fire / ISS Movie Review. So I think I'm going to title it, The Lake of Fire / ISS Movie Review. And yeah, we're going to talk about The Lake of Fire. And we're going to talk about this movie that I saw a couple weeks ago. Real good movie. I think everybody should see it. You can see that in this part of the trailer, you see nuclear explosions going off. And then as the movie progresses, you see the devastation that are left on the earth, creating the lake of fire. When the scriptures speak about the lake of fire, it's from an aerial perspective. You know, because you see the oceans, the lakes, different land masses. But then when you look here, it's like, dang, that's a lake of fire. So that's what the scriptures are speaking about. But we're going to make sense of it going through the precepts. Typically, well, we're going to go through it kind of the way that I bring it out, you know, to visitors that stop by the altar. All right, so we're going to first hit Revelation 20 and 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Christian church will tell you that hell is the lake of fire. But we see here that death and hell were cast into the lake of fire, showing you that hell and the lake of fire not the same thing. Also showing you that hell is not what the Christian church tell you that it is. A place under the ground, under the earth, with the devil and demons burning and torturing people. That's all made up. The lake of fire gonna be here on earth, and that's what was shown in this movie. This is the lake of fire, and we're gonna explain how America and other places become the lake of fire now. So first, we're gonna jump to the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5. Okay, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So this is talking about wars, battles, you know, from the ancient world, even to some of the more modern wars, like World War I. But it said every battle of warriors is with confused noise. What's that? People hollering, screaming, necks breaking, bones cracking, sword and shield clashing. It can even be a bunch of guns going off, a bunch of revolvers, a confused noise. And it said garments rolled in blood. That some bodies dropping. It says, but this meaning is something to come, a future event. And it says, but this, meaning a future battle, a future war. shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Yeah, so this future war, you know, it's not going to be your traditional war where people actually going into battle. No, this future war that's coming up is going to be different. It's going to be burning and fuel of fire. Now, you got to ask, why is this word fuel in the Bible? If this is supposed to be an ancient book, this is a book of the future as well. And this future battle is going to involve fuel of fire. What's that? That's that rocket fuel and that jet fuel, shooting these missiles from one side of the earth to the other. And it says with burning, that's the nuclear destruction. So, yeah, there's going to be a future battle with a nuclear destruction. So, now that we know that a future battle is going to involve heat and fire as a result, let's keep that in mind. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Now, this shows you that hell, the way the Christian church teach you, don't exist. Because it says, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. So it's pointing toward a future event. Because according to these crazy Christians, hell is already on fire. And hell been burning since before the beginning of time. So according to them, hell is already burning hot. But the Lord is pointing to a specific day that's going to burn. And that would be a day in the time to come. A future event. So that cuts the idea of hell. Then he emphasizes it again and said, the day that cometh shall burn them up. So it's a certain day that you can mark on the calendar. Not that we know the day, but there's going to be, the Lord got his calendar and it's for an appointed time. And it's going to burn up people. But remember that this burning is going to come through war, through battle. And so now we can go to 2 Peter 3:10. Keep in mind the day coming that shall burn it as the oven. And this will be the day of the Lord. And we can see that here. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Now, what's this great noise? That's that burning and fuel of fire that we got in Isaiah 9:5. Going back to it, when it said every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Ain't these explosives and bombs and nuclear weapons, ain't they loud? So yeah, it says the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And it goes on to say, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So the day of the Lord, the day that's coming in the future, we in that future, that day that shall burn as an oven is going to be accompanied with a great noise. So it's going to be great noise and great fervent heat that's going to melt the elements. And when you think about chemistry, like the atmosphere, the air that we breathe is made out of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, the elements on the periodic table, the building blocks of reality. And I was explaining this to my dad, who's a chemical engineer. He said this makes sense, that this is talking about nuclear missiles, nuclear destruction. Because he said for something to break apart elements, for something that can melt the elements, it got to be nuclear energy. So that makes sense that it's nuclear missiles. Because a forest fire can't break down the elements. A grill fire can't break down the elements. No regular fire that we've seen in our life can melt the elements, can melt reality to the basic building blocks. So again, the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So the majority of the surface of the earth is going to be wiped out. Everything will be burnt up. A forest fire can't spread like that. A grill fire can't spread like that, to the point that it's going to melt the elements with fervent heat. Even the air that we breathe is made up of elements, you know, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon. But even the air, the atmosphere is going to melt. Things that you see, things that you can't see is going to melt. Everything will be burnt up. There's going to be no air to breathe. So this is the day that's going to burn as an oven. This pointing to a future event. Because again, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, which will melt the elements with a fervent heat. This talk about here on earth. This ain't talk about nowhere underground. Because according to you Christians, hell is underground and it's been burning. No, this says that the earth and the works therein shall be burnt up. This everything on the surface. Everything that people, built up, everything's going to be wiped out. So we see that the elements go melt with fervent heat. Let's continue over to Psalms 58 and 7. Let them melt away as waters, which run continually. Yeah, so again, let them melt away as waters. Then we just get that the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So the elements, the works in the earth, the people is going to melt away as waters, creating the lake of fire. So these nuclear missiles are going to evaporate, dissolve, and melt everything on the surface of the earth. Now we get this picture like we got here. So we're going to stop reading here and we're going to look at some of these snapshots that I took from the movie. This is the space station and this is them in outer space. That's the earth behind them. And I guess I forgot this part. The backstory of the movie is on the International Space Station, which is a real thing. You got scientists up there doing whatever they do. And pretty much while they was on the space station, war broke out. So now they up there watching all hell break loose on Earth. And this one here, you can see, I think there's an astronaut right here. He's trying to repair something outside on the space station. Meanwhile, you got the Earth beneath them, just burning up completely. The elements melting with fervent heat. This would be another one towards maybe the last 30 minutes of the movie when most of the fire and the destruction spread across the earth. But you can see this is a lake of fire. This is another snapshot. Space station going around the earth, earth engulfed in flames. Everywhere that was hit by nuclear missiles. This is a close-up with the earth behind them, blazing. This is that same astronaut working on something with the earth beneath him burning up. You would think this is the sun, but this is the earth. This is like an overhead view. Him on the space station and the earth, completely melted. This that lake of fire. And that's why I like this movie. It brings prophecy to life. It gives us a visual. Because hell, way the Christians tell it to you is scary, but it seemed kind of far-fetched. It seemed kind of make-believe. But when you learn what the lake of fire really is, that is going to be on Earth, that's going to come by nuclear missiles, that's so much more believable. And now we can see it right here. They put everything in movies. This was coming. America going to be completely wiped out. And you got a part of the earth over here that wasn't burnt. Probably the oceans, bodies of water. This is another good one. This the lake of fire. The Lord gonna burn people alive here on earth. You ain't gotta die and go to hell. The Lord gonna bring it to you by these nuclear missiles. And that was pretty much the whole point of the movie. That after war broke out, the scientists, which were Russian and American scientists, started fighting on the spaceship, killing each other, trying to take control of the spaceship. But every 10, 15 minutes, it'll show you the earth in the background just burning up. And that's how I got these various different pictures. Every time it'll show the earth again, I'm like, man, let me take a picture of this. Because this is the end of the world. It's by fire. The fire gonna come from above. It's gonna come by nuclear missiles. So I guess we're gonna get back to the scriptures. So yeah, let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be cut as in pieces. So yeah, let everything on earth melt away with fervent heat when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows. What is this arrow? This is not an arrow, shot from a bow that you can make with sticks and stone. No, this is talking about the nuclear missiles. Because ain't no bow and arrow that can melt stuff with fervent heat, melting the elements. This is a metaphor for the nuclear missiles. As a matter of fact, I got a couple other screenshots. The Brothers from Mysteries of the Kingdom put this one together. But you see, you got America from an aerial viewpoint, on fire. This is what's coming. Compared it next to this one, just to get a comparison. And this is another one. I think some of the people at GMS made this United States of America completely on fire. This is the lake of fire from an aerial view. Because those of us who get salvation, we're going to go up and see things from above. All right, let them melt away as waters which run continually when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows. Let them be as cut in pieces. So yeah, the Lord gonna melt this place with nuclear missiles. And when we go now to the next precept, we're gonna hit the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. What does it mean that these arrows, these nuclear missiles, are sharp and won't miss? I mean, it's going to penetrate America's missile defense system. It's going to go through the defense system and melt this place. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So a regular arrow shot from a regular bow can go from one side of the world to the other. But these nuclear missiles can. They're going to be shot from China to America, from Russia to America, North Korea to America. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles. America ain't got hypersonic missiles. From the other side of the world, they can torch this place in like 20, 30 minutes. And by the time you get the alert, it's going to be too late already. So yeah, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shoot are sharp and will not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And it's these arrows that's going to be shot from one side of the world to the other that's going to melt the people away, melt the earth away, creating the lake of fire. And when we go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, We're going to hit verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. Who is Babylon? Lady Liberty, America. I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. So what makes you a great nation? When you got a great military, when you got nuclear missiles. So the Lord raised up these great nations, Iran, North Korea, China, countries who was once considered weak, now they strong. They got everything America got, also Russia, India. They all got nuclear missiles, and the Lord going to cause them to come up against this place, America, aka Babylon the Great. They shall set themselves in array against her. Who is this her? Lady Liberty, America. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. What's that? That's your soldiers, U.S. military. None shall return in vain. Then when we go down to verse 14, considering that we just read that the arrows that he shoot will not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, let's see who these arrows, these nuclear missiles, gonna be shot at. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. Babylon, aka America. All you that bend the bow, all you that got nuclear missiles, shoot at her. Fire off the missiles. Spare no arrows. Shoot everything you got, for she has sinned against the Lord. So the Lord says, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Let loose everything you got. And that's why I said in Ezra 16 to 13, that the arrows won't miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. They're going to be shot over here to the west at America. Then we go to Wisdom of Solomon 16 to 16. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm with strange rains. What's these strange rains? It's a metaphor for the nuclear missiles, hails, and showers, where they persecuted that they could not avoid, and through the fire were they consumed. Now we're going to show a picture of these strange rains. The sky going to be filled with missiles. This is something you can expect to see when it comes to America. This is that strange rains. And here's another one somebody put together. I think I got this from Mysteries of the Kingdom. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm. That's Yahweh Shai. With strange rains. Why is it a strange rain? This is a rain that brings forth not water, but a consuming fire. Hail. It's a strange hail. Because this ain't little balls of ice. These big pieces of metal with nuclear warheads. And showers. This is not a shower of rain, but a strange shower of nuclear missiles. The Lord gonna rain nuclear missiles on this place. With strange rains and hails and showers were they persecuted that they could not avoid. And when we go back to this trailer, these people couldn't avoid this. When that happened, you couldn't avoid it. The nuclear destruction and that fire spread way too fast. The missiles are hypersonic. They come at, over 10,000 miles per hour. That's why it says were they persecuted that they could not avoid. There's no escape once these missiles are shot. And through fire were they consumed. And that's what you see in these screenshots. Through the fire were they consumed. Anybody who was on the surface of the earth, when these missiles go off, they're going to be consumed. They're going to be vaporized. There's no surviving. And you had a bunch of people complaining about the movie, complaining about the ending of it. Nobody said nothing about the lake of fire, the earth completely on fire, all the billions of people that died on the earth. Nobody considered, what if this comes to life? What if this is a reality? Can this actually happen? Nobody questioned it. But that's how simple the people are. Now we're going to go to Zephaniah 1 and 8, 1 and 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. And we know that the day of the Lord is a day that's going to burn as an oven, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements melt with fervent heat. But the whole land, whole entire countries, shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall even make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So the Lord gonna quickly get rid of the people by devouring the whole land by fire. Lining up Wisdom of Solomon 16:16. Strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted that they could not avoid, and through the fire were they consumed. So yeah, they was quickly devoured by the fire of his jealousy. It's gonna devour entire countries, entire land masses. Now, when you look at this amount of space, it looked little, but when you down there on the surface, everywhere the people could see, as far as the eye could see, even with binoculars, everything was wiped out. So yeah, he's gonna get rid of America quickly by fire. But keep in mind, it says the whole land shall be devoured by fire. So this is gonna bring us to Isaiah 13:5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation. Remember, it said the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. And here it speaks about the weapons of the Lord's indignation to destroy the whole land. Well, remember Isaiah 9:5. Every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. But this, pointing to a future event, a future battle of warriors, a future war. Well, what? It would be with burning and fuel of fire. And now it's speaking about the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land by fire. So when it says the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, what's going to bring that fire? The weapons of his whole indignation to destroy the whole land, to completely wipe out America. Let's keep going. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. This twofold. People's heart is going to melt from fear, but literally your organs, your heart, your flesh is going to melt. It's going to consume away. Remember, the Lord said back in Psalms 58:7, he said, let them melt away as waters. Talking about the people. So when the people's hearts melt for fear, it's going to do that, but it's going to literally melt too. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall all be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. So everybody that's caught up in this nuclear destruction, they all gonna see each other burning up. And they're gonna be amazed at it. They're gonna be in disbelief. Yeah, they're gonna be in disbelief. And we're gonna get this last one right here in Zechariah 14:12 to show that people are literally gonna melt. Zechariah 14:12. This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So yeah, the Lord is saying your flesh is going to burn away, melt away before your body can even hit the ground. Your body not going to ever hit the ground. It's going to be consumed away that quick. But we know the Lord going to slow it down however he do it so that you feel it. And yeah, a forest fire can't do this. A grill fire can't do this. Your body gonna drop to the ground before it be burnt up all the way. But no, this is you being consumed away, dissolved while you standing on your feet. And we can best believe that's what happened to anybody who was on the earth when it took place in the movie and when it take place in real life. And the Lord said, I believe, Micah 5:15, He gonna execute vengeance and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. So not even our dreams or even something they put in the movie can compare what the Lord really gonna do. These are violent images. These images, it's just the fire, the earth on fire. You read in between the lines, hey, this is billions and billions of dead people. This is something we've seen before, now, by seeing it in a movie. Well, the day of the Lord, His destruction is going to far exceed anything we've seen in movies or in dreams. So it's going to be far more violent, way worse when it actually happened. Because most of the people, you're not going to just be watching through a television screen. You're going to actually be part of that destruction, hearing the screams, hearing that great noise. Hey, this didn't even capture the great earthquake that's going to happen when the earth rocked back and forth. Part of the ground, tectonic plates breaking up, lava shooting up, volcanoes going off. It's going to be off the chain.
Oh, whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out. Now.
Oh, my God.
Земля, это экипаж МКС.
Houston, do you read?
But yeah, this is the lake of fire. It's a reality. We in them days. Lord, what it was edifying. Till next time, shalom.